Hello, and welcome to our SE385 problem set. My name is Cadet Joshua Ray, and here with me I have Cadets Justin Byers and Brian Mathwich. Yeah! Woo-hoo! All right, yeah! Let's go ahead and transition to the next slide. The first theme that I took away from misbehaving was the idea of fairness. This theory was that if the employer treats the worker well in terms of pay and working conditions, that gift will be reciprocated with higher effort levels and lower turnover, thus making the payment of the above market wages economically profitable. This theory was brought forward by Ernst Fair, an Austrian behavioral economics whose research covers the evolution of human cooperation, in particular fairness and bounded rationality. This idea of fairness that was brought forward by Fair goes hand in hand with a theory that I learned in my military leadership course here at West Point, which is called expectancy theory. Expectancy theory states that a person's motivation is based off what they expect the outcome will be, which is similar to Fair's thing. So far here at the Academy, I've seen how Fair's idea of fairness has an effect on the motivation of my fellow classmates. For instance, if cadets are forced to do an assignment or activity with no promise of reward or positive outcome, they usually approach it with low motivation and cynicism. A logical example of this idea is the current blood drive that's going on here at West Point. Cadets typically don't go to this unless there is some kind of desired outcome, such as a t-shirt or free pass. Therefore, the organizers spend money to incentivize giving blood, which in the end maximizes their results. In essence, the idea of fairness as it applies to this class is that if an employer is not transparent with the rewards or outcomes of the task put on its employees, then it will result in a loss of motivation and a rise in status quo workers.
Framing is one theme seen in Thaler's book, which is the way information is presented. Given a certain set of data, an individual can spin or frame the conclusions that another person draws from such results in a manner that suits the individual's intentions best. News outlets are huge culprits when it comes to framing. Thaler discusses what he calls narrow framing, in which he describes as treating events one at a time rather than as a portfolio. He mentions that this tends to get people into trouble and leads to inherent misbehaving when it comes to economic logic. When considering endeavors exclusively rather than considering them as a piece to a whole, individuals are less likely to capitalize on such undertakings. Thaler brought the idea to light when presenting a situation to a group of executives where they could choose to make an investment where there's a 50% chance of earning $2 million and a 50% chance of losing $1 million. Though the expected value is a gain of $500,000 and a $1 million loss is not substantial to the company, only 3 of the 23 said they would choose to invest. The CEO was then asked what he wanted to happen. He said he would take all 23 investments since as a whole the expected value is $11.5 million. Due to the volatile, risky nature of most business ventures in the short term, along with an individual's desire to not put their job in jeopardy, narrow framing leads to poor choices. If the CEO were to fully understand his role as a leader of the company, he would identify that this problem exists and work to correct it. Being at the top of the company gives him a much more comprehensive, big-picture view of the company in which he must communicate with his lower executives who are focused on their individual part of the company in order to reach greater company success. I encountered framing in my decision to come to West Point. West Point's admissions promoted West Point to a substantial degree. This is expected, however, they framed it in such a way where almost every facet seemed positive, leaving out many negative aspects. Though I was relatively shocked when I showed up for our day, I'm happy that West Point framed it in such a way, otherwise I would not be where I am today. An expansion reading that builds on framing is Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. In the book, he presents questions that are the same but framed in different ways to elicit a different response from those answering the question. In one instance, he phrased a question involving 2 of the same courses of action 2 ways, one in which many people die, which is not selected, and one in which many people survive, which is often selected.
An inside view is taken by the person who is a member of the team or project, is often biased and overly optimistic because the individual has confidence in his team's abilities. An outside view is that of an expert It looks at a situation from a non-biased perspective and is based on past data and experiences. For example, a project manager may estimate his team will take approximately 2 months for the project. However, based on past data and experience, I know the project will take closer to 6 months. The project manager is overly optimistic and has an inside view. I have a more reliable outside view, supported by actual data. Traditional economics has the baseline assumption that all actors are rational. People always make decisions that are prudent, logical, and maximize their personal utility. Most conventional economic theories on an individual's behavior are grounded in this theory of rationality. Behavioral economics attempts to explain people's irrational behavior. It is a blend of psychology and economics that challenges traditional, rational economic thought. It asks why people make decisions that do not maximize their personal utility. For example, why do people choose to receive highly taxed dividends over lower taxed capital gains? Thaler provides an excellent example of irrationality in cab drivers. Drivers tend to set a target revenue and stop working when they reach it. This means on busy and productive days, cab drivers work less, and on slow days, they work longer. Rationally, they should work longer on the productive days to maximize their gains. This is a narrow thinking trap. Irrationality and inside views are highly correlated. Narrow thinking and taking an inside view quickly leads to irrationality and poor decision making. To maximize the utility from a decision, actors should take a holistic systems outside view and avoid thinking traps. This will lead to more rational and logical decisions.
And this concludes our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.